So let's start with our 2025 WNBA MVP, and that has to go to the one and only Caitlin Clark.
When we talk about greatness, we usually talk about years of building, seasons of grinding, the slow, methodical climb to the top. But sometimes greatness doesn't wait. It storms in like a hurricane. And in 2025, that storm has a name.
I truly think that the second year for Caitlin Clark is going to be like nothing we have ever seen. She has had an entire offseason to train, to get into the gym, to work on things that she struggled with during her rookie season.
Right now, before the first tip-off, before the first buzzer sounds, one question is dominating every sports desk.
Rookie season. Went into her rookie year after coming off a very long college career. She had a couple weeks off and went straight into the
lighting up every group chat, stirring debates across every podcast studio. Is Caitlin Clark already the runaway favorite for the 2025 WNBA MVP? And let's be real, not everybody's thrilled about it, especially not Aja Wilson. But before we dive into the drama, before we talk about the side eyes, the subtweets, and the brewing tension among the W's biggest stars, let's set the record straight. This isn't about disrespecting the veterans. This isn't about media.
They went straight into the
disaster if it was Photoshop.
She said it was AI. What aspects of her game would you like to work with her on for this season?
Yeah, I mean, certainly getting stronger was one. You know, the level of physicality in the W is totally different. You know, that's the way that teams have to try to keep her off balance.
This is about something bigger, something undeniable. Caitlin Clark is changing the game, period. When Clark finished her rookie year, the critiques came flying faster than a pull-up three from the logo. She's not strong enough. She can't handle WNBA physicality. She's overrated. What most people forgot. Caitlin Clark went straight from one of the most grueling college seasons in history, leading Iowa on a historic NCAA tournament run.
Balance.
Not gonna come into this year losing like they did last year. This squad that they didn't put with Caitlin is amazing. So the winning will be there, right? I believe their winning percentage will be way higher than it was at the beginning of last year. And Caitlin Clark will have so much, she will have her fingerprints all over those victories.
To a WNBA training camp within weeks. No real offseason. No real recovery. Just survival mode. And still, even at her most exhausted, Clark put up historic rookie numbers. Leading rookies in scoring, assists, breaking attendance records, bringing millions of new eyeballs to the league, and dragging a still rebuilding Indiana Fever squad into playoff contention.
To be able to be equal in terms of production and facilitation, going right and left, to be able to have different types of finishing looks, whether it's, you know, crossbody finishes, whether it's floaters at the rim, whether it's quick floaters, long floaters, you know, Euros. You can't quite be as fundamentally predictable with as much athleticism, speed, quickness, and as much as the game plan is going to be geared towards her.
Imagine doing all that on fumes. Now imagine what happens when that same player gets an entire offseason to prepare. You get a monster. This offseason, Clark didn't go quiet. She went underground, into the lab. And what came out the other side? A player transformed, Clark bulked up, adding significant...
And speaking of younger players, my prediction for jersey sales, and this might be a hot take, but I think the top 5 jersey sales this year in the WNBA are going to be either rookies or sophomores. But I still think that Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese are going to be up there in jersey sales. I think Paige Beckers is going to be up there in jersey sales. That's already 3. The last 2, if you guys remember last season, Kate Martin was in the top 5 in jersey sales. Will she be up there again with the Golden State Valkyries now that she is going to be one of the faces of that franchise? I feel like at least 4 out of the top 5 jersey sales are going to be young players.
Adding significant muscle mass through an intense strength and conditioning program designed specifically for the brutal, physical nature of the WNBA core stability, explosive power, upper body strength to absorb contact and finish plays she couldn't quite complete as a rookie. Gone is the slender kid battling through double teams. Here stands a fully weaponized Caitlin Clark, built for war. Even Fever head coach Stephanie White admitted it during camp. Getting stronger was goal number 1. She's done that. Now, she's ready to dominate. But strength is only part of the equation. The real transformation? It happened between the ears. Clark attacked film study like it was a final exam, and she was determined to ace it. She watched hours upon hours of her rookie season footage. Every trap, Every blitz, every defensive wrinkle thrown at her. She didn't just watch, she analyzed, dissected, counter-planned. This year, double her? She'll slice you with a no-look dime to the weak side corner, face guard her, she'll back cut for an easy layup, trap her in the pick and roll. That ball is gone before you can blink. Last season, Clark was reacting.
To be young players.
It is
That's not just
such a big thing to hear from Stephanie White, and it should calm people down a little bit when it comes to Caitlin Clark playing off the ball, because obviously if a coach has a plan and vision and a proper plan and vision,
That's not just physical growth, that's basketball IQ at a genius level. Of course, no great dynasty rises on one player alone, and this is where Stephanie White enters the story like a master strategist. When White took over the Indiana Fever, she didn't just tweak the offense or tighten the rotations. She blew the whole thing up and rebuilt it from scratch. The Fever didn't need tweaks, they needed a new identity, and White knew it. Step 1, structure, seriousness, culture. Under White, practices became competitive battlegrounds. Film sessions became PhD-level masterclasses. Accountability became the standard. We needed alignment, White said. That means on the bench, on the court, in the locker room, everywhere, and the results are already obvious. The Indiana Fever aren't just Caitlin Clark's team. They're a finely tuned machine built around maximizing her talents. Spacing, movement, tempo. White has crafted an offense that weaponizes Clark's full skill set, not just her shooting, but her vision, her creativity, her fearlessness. They're not just running plays, they're running teams out of the gym. And let's talk about this roster, because Indiana didn't sit still this offseason either. They loaded up veteran leadership, check physical enforcers to protect Clark, check shooting, athleticism, playmakers, check, check, check. Natasha Howard brings toughness and defensive firepower. Sophie Cunningham brings shooting, grit, and edge. Brianna Turner brings size, rebounding, and versatility. Suddenly, Clark isn't carrying the Fever alone. She's surrounded by a full roster of weapons, each one ready to amplify her brilliance. Last year, teams could swarm Clark because the Fever lacked consistent secondary threats. This year, you double Clark at half court, you're getting cooked. You can't cover everybody anymore. Pick your poison, and Caitlin Clark is the dealer. But it's bigger than basketball. Caitlin Clark isn't just revolutionizing the Indiana Fever, she's revolutionizing the entire WNBA. The numbers don't lie. The Fever's national TV games doubled overnight. Attendance surged across the league, even at road arenas. When Clark came to town, sponsorships, viewership, merchandise, all skyrocketing. The so-called Clark effect isn't a myth, it's a cultural reality. New fans are flooding into the WNBA, many following Clark's journey from Iowa. Young girls are showing up with homemade jerseys. Middle-aged dads who used to only watch the NBA are debating pick-and-roll coverages in WNBA games. College bros are arguing about MVP ladders in May. It's a total seismic shift, and not everybody is happy about it. Some of the W's long-time stars, some of the veterans who grinded for years without this level of attention, are feeling the tension. They're asking, why now? Why her? Where was this love when we were dominating? It's a fair question, but it's the wrong question. The truth? Caitlin Clark isn't stealing attention, she's creating new attention. She's building a bigger stage, a stage everybody can shine on. Because guess what? When Caitlin Clark draws 5 million viewers to a Fever Aces game, Aja Wilson shines brighter too. Brianna Stewart's magic gets seen. Arike Ogunbowale's swagger gets appreciated. This isn't a zero-sum game. This is expansion. And whether the veterans realize it or not, Caitlin Clark's success is everyone's success. All right, now let's get spicy. The MVP race. Before the season even tips off, the battle lines are drawn. The traditionalists say it's Aja Wilson's league until further notice, and hey, they're not wrong. 2-time MVP, Defensive Player of the Year, multiple championships, dominant on both ends. Aja is the real deal. Then there's Brianna Stewart, the quiet assassin, a walking 2010, a floor spacer, shot blocker, winner at every level. If we're being objective, both Aja and Stewie should be in the MVP conversation every single year. But here's the twist. MVP isn't just about being the best player. It's about narrative. It's about impact. It's about whose story captures the season. And in 2025, nobody's story burns hotter than Caitlin Clark's. If the Fever jump from lottery team to top 4 seed, If Clark leads the league in assists and top 5 in scoring, if viewership and cultural momentum reach unprecedented heights, how do you deny her? The MVP isn't just stats, it's who defines the season. And right now, it's hard to imagine anyone defining 2025 more than Caitlin Clark. That being said, it won't be all love and sunshine. Respect has to be earned in blood, sweat, and bruises. Clark will get every team's best shot. Veterans will test her. Trash talk will reign. Cheap shots? Yeah, expect a few. This is the WNBA, not a TikTok highlight reel. And honestly, Clark wouldn't want it any other way. She's built for the smoke. She's thrived off doubt her whole life. You don't average 30 a night at Iowa. You don't survive a year of national scrutiny. You don't revolutionize a sport without serious mental toughness. Every hard foul, fuel. Every eye roll, motivation. Every you don't belong, another log on the fire. Clark doesn't want respect handed to her. She wants to rip it out of the league's hands. And the crazy thing? She's already well on her way. Meanwhile, behind the scenes, Stephanie White is playing chess while the rest of the league plays checkers. White knows Clark will get blitzed with defensive attention. She's already scheming counters. The Fever offense will feature high ball screens to free Clark's range-off-ball movement to prevent teams from loading up quick hitter sets when teams try face-guarding stretch bigs to drag shot blockers away from the paint. This isn't Caitlin, save us offense anymore. It's an engineered war machine designed to maximize her superpowers. Meanwhile, defensively, the Fever added long athletic wings and versatile forwards. Turnovers will turn into transition threes. Defensive stops will lead to quick strike opportunities. The Fever are building a team that doesn't just compete, they dictate terms. And yet, the target on Clark's back will only grow. Every arena she walks into, she'll hear the boos. Every veteran she crosses over will have something to say. Every bad shooting night will be exaggerated. The hate will be loud, but the love will be louder. Because for every bitter veteran, there will be 10,000 kids in the stands dreaming bigger because of her. Because of the way she plays, because of the way she carries herself, because of the way she dared to be different. Clark's not just playing for wins, she's playing for the future. And deep down, even her critics know it. They're not booing because she's bad. They're booing because they can't stop her. So let's bring it back to where we started. Is Caitlin Clark the 2025 MVP favorite? The answer is simple. Yes. Not because the league is handing her anything. Not because the media is forcing a narrative. Not because the old guard is fading, it's because she's earning it. Every weight lifted in the off-season, every hour spent in the film room, every adjustment learned, every sacrifice made. Caitlin Clark is showing up ready for the smoke, ready for the spotlight, ready for the crown. This isn't hype, this isn't clickbait, this is reality. The future is now, and her name is Caitlin Clark.